I'm back with another retired NASCAR driver's career with Dale Earnhardt Jr. This is number 12 the next season. It's kind of a mediocre season. It's a DEI season, and it's actually his first NASCAR full-time season. So here it is, number 12. So 2000 was a pretty mediocre season. He got 2 wins, so it produced his first 2 victories. Only 3 top 5s and only 5 top 10s. He had those 2 poles. He led 426 laps, so it wasn't that bad, and ranked 16th in points, which was mediocre. Definitely not his best, but definitely not his worst. He's had a lot worse than that, so that's why it's number 12. If we looked at the results, there were some races where he dominated, some races where he led a lot of laps. The Coca-Cola 600, his 2 wins, he led a good amount of laps. He led Talladega. You know, there are so many tracks that he actually led a lot of laps at, was doing pretty well at. And then, of course, you had wrecks and whatnot this season that kind of set him back towards the middle of the points there. He never really got higher than 13th, 14th in points. So his first full-time race, the Daytona 500 for 2000, and this is known as the boring 500, as they're mostly single file throughout. As you can see right here, he's running kind of just outside the top 10, around 14th, whatnot, battling, and he ends up finishing around there. So then we'll move on to the next race, which is at Las Vegas, where he's leading early. So he started, I believe, 3rd. Now here, lap 46, he's leading. He leads a good amount of laps, but ends up finishing 10th, as I believe the rain actually came and ended this race early. So he ends up 10th, but see right here, he's leading some laps out front. Of course, those 2 cars from lap cars trying to get their laps back, trying to unlap themselves. That's how it worked back then. Tail the lead lap cars to the inside or in front of the leader. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. out front at Las Vegas, looking good, but ends up not winning, but still a decent result, showing that he has the speed out of that car and can perform well when he needs to. And those 2 in front really hoping for a caution battle and hard. So we've gone to Atlanta, where he's running in the 2nd position, hits the wall, gets very loose in 1 and 2, and hits the wall, knocks it down. He's running in the 2nd position. Had a very, very good car there as well. As his 1.5 mile cars this season were actually pretty good. You don't really think about Dale Jr. as a 1.5 mile racer, but this season he's actually pretty good on those 1.5 mile tracks. So you can see he brings it down pit road. The caution flies for that, and he hit the wall so hard that I believe he actually kind of messed with his brakes a little bit. The brakes weren't working as well. As you can see, he's coming down to his pit stall right here, and he's actually just going to slide on through. He's not going to stop. As I think he may have tried to stop right here, but just kind of slides on through. Doesn't have the brakes to really slow the car down where he needs to, and rolls out of the pits. See right here, going into turn 1 on the onboard, he gets really loose, running behind the first place guy, Jerry Nadeau. Gets loose right there, trying to correct it, overcorrects it into the wall hard. So then we go on to Darlington, where off of turn number 2, just gets loose and spins the car around. He hits the inside wall hard. He knocks it down right here. Look at how hard he hits it. Man, that's a hard hit right there. As just got loose off turn 2, and another DNF for a crash this season. So right here, he's loose, spins around, gets all the tire smoke, and the 21 avoids it up top. So then we'll go on to Bristol, where I believe this is lap number 2, and the 21 Sadler gets spun around, and then Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets caught up in it as well, nowhere to go. It's actually pretty ironic how this crash was caused. It was Dale Earnhardt Sr. that spun the 21 out of Elliott Sadler, and it collected Dale Jr. in the process. You can see right here, as they go off into turn number 1, Dale Earnhardt down low, Sadler trying to protect that bottom lane. Earnhardt gives him a bump, spins Sadler around, Jr.'s on the top side, trying to find a way to go, and just gets run over from behind. Just a corner effect, nothing really anyone could do there. He spins up to the outside wall, and hits it just a little bit right there. As some bad luck here, another crash that he's involved in. As you can see from his onboard from the rear, the crash happens in front of him, he slows down, but the cars just behind cannot get it slowed down. It's a classic chain reaction right there. So Junior keeps it in the race, but then later on, with about 100 laps to go, he's involved in another crash, and this one hurts the car a ton. As you can see, all the damage to the right side of the car, and look at the left front when they pan over here. The left front of the car is completely destroyed as well. Right there, just the whole fender's gone. See right here, coming off the corner. The 33 up against the wall, and some cars checking up, like Junior checks up right there. A car gets to the back of him, sends him up to the outside wall hard, and then he comes right across the track, and then gets down to the inside wall as well. So hit to both ends. And then we move on to Texas. A great car. He's led many laps. He's out front, coming to the white flag, and I guess it would be inappropriate to not let Mike Joy just take it. So take it from here, Mike Joy. Call this race ending.
for this great third-generation driver from Kannapolis, North Carolina. White flag, last lap for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, don't you know his heart's beating harder than that car is running right now?
His grandfather, Ralph, former national champion, they called him Ironheart because he gave nothing on the racetrack. His father, 7-time Winston Cup champion, once dubbed Ironhead, and then the Intimidator. How about this kid?
He can coast on now, Mike.
Checkered flag, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is Texas Motor Speedway's second first-time Winston Cup winner.
Well, you know, the celebration going to be big. They're pushing the 8 car to victory lane, as meeting him there is his father, Dale Earnhardt. In this Texas race, he actually had 106 laps, a ton. And I see right there, Dale Earnhardt wanted to be to the car first and pulls the man aside, reaches in, and celebrating with his son. One of only a few times he'll be able to in the Cup Series do that. As only 3 times he really was able to do it. Richmond, here, and then of course the All-Star race, as we'll see in a little bit. So now let's just go listen to these interviews, because man, oh man, they're all really happy here. A lot of emotion.
Dale, you seem more emotional than I've seen you in all your victories.
Hey, man, come on. Come on. That's crazy, isn't it?
How about it, Dale? This is as big a moment for you as it is for him, I think.
I tell you, he's something else. He's talking about coming to Texas and winning his first Cup race. He won his first Busch race here. We knew the kid could do it. Tony Uri and all the guys worked really hard, and I got to thank Budweiser, Chevrolet, and everybody. This kid, he worked hard. And Tony Jr., Tony Sr., Richie Gilmore, and all them guys in that engine shop. I got a good race car, a good engine, and boy, drove a good race.
And it was only your 12th start in Winston Cup.
Yeah, I'm out of breath, man. I tell you what, that was the hardest race I ever drove.
You certainly drove a beautiful one today, and you were pulling away at the finish.
Yeah. We had it blue all day long, all week long, and felt pretty good. And once the race started, we had a good car, and I was pretty happy.
And move on to Talladega. The big one strikes, unfortunately. He's kind of in the middle of it. He misses it, kind of gets a little there, but then just gets hit at the end. The red number 8, see, they're spinning it down towards the inside wall, involved in the big one at Talladega. Just nowhere to go once you're in this pack. You know, the big one strikes in front. You can just hope and pray that a gap opens up at some point. So right there, he's kind of in front of his teammate Steve Park in the yellow number 1. You see right there, he's down low, and the 8 down. He misses that one car spinning, and then he's in the smoke. He misses those cars, and then that car right there just comes across and gets him, and he kind of gets squished right there in the middle with nowhere to go. He almost had missed. Very unfortunate that he couldn't make it through, as he actually ends up finishing at the back, I believe 42nd in this race. See here from a different angle. See actually how close he is right there, making it through, and right there just gets clipped and nowhere to go. Actually look at it from the onboard, see how close he actually really was to missing, as it's very close. Just that one car sliding in front, nothing you could do at these tracks here. He's riding along. There's the crash. He's slowing down, checking up. Cars wrecking everywhere. He makes it a little bit kind of right there. Just gets hit and nowhere to go. So then we move on to Richmond, a place where Junior's had so much success over his Cup career, and it starts right here with this race, his first Richmond race in Cup full time, as he's leading with 5 laps to go, but the 5 of Terry Labonte and the 88 of Dale Jarrett in hot pursuit, trying to run him down. And these laps gotta go fast. It's a 3/4 mile short track. But man, Terry Labonte is right there on Junior. One small mistake out of the 8, and the 5 will be there. So now they cross to 4 to go. Junior just trying to hold off Labonte to get his second career Cup victory, as it's been a pretty good season up to this point. The crashes and whatnot have kind of slowed them down, but they've had some fast cars. Most tracks that they've gone to. Right here, Terry Labonte trying again. The 5 car obviously a lot faster, for what I think. A lot faster. The 8's just trying to save it up, make sure he doesn't overdrive the corners and whatnot. Now you got 3 laps to go at Richmond. Terry Labonte still right there. Dale Jarrett's closing in a little bit, but will he have enough time to try and get up there? As Junior rounds off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. There comes to 2 laps to go this time. The 5 closes in once again. Terry Labonte with a good run through this corner doesn't get the 8th bumper, but is right there, tries the high side, gets tight, has to let off. He falls back to second. Now they got 2 laps to go. Junior's still holding them off, but he has to hold them off for about 1.5 miles more as they race off through 1 and 2 again. Dale Jarrett's driving hard in the bottom lane. Terry Labonte trying everything he can. See, the 8 gets loose there off turn number 2. The smoke from the car blowing an engine down low. And we'll just let the ESPN crew take it from here at the white flag as they come off of 4. There's the white flag. They cross it one more time around. Junior trying to hold off Terry Labonte. And let's just let the ESPN crew take it from here. Let's call this race, guys.
Labonte looks to the inside of Earnhardt coming off corner number 2, but they run single file down the backstretch. Labonte's going to have to make the move. He looks inside and turns 3 and 4, and he's not going to be able to do it at Richmond International Raceway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins his 2nd NASCAR Winston Cup race.
2nd win of his career in his rookie season. And how about moving on from a win now to the All-Star race, the Winston. They have 5 laps to go. Dale Jarrett's leading, now 4 laps to go. Jerry Nadeau's second. Dale Jr. has been running about 3rd all race long. He gets to the wall. They come down pit road later in the segment. Put 4 tires on. He's a rocket ship now. He just went right by his father, Dale Earnhardt. Now he's battling Jerry Nadeau for 2nd, and he clears him easily through 3 and 4. They come see 3 laps to go this time. The 8 car is a rocket ship out front, trying to run down the 88 of Dale Jarrett. As Jarrett has some smoke coming out the rear of the car, something with the rear end going amiss from the restart. So now they've got 3 laps of racing to go. Can Dale Jarrett hold off Dale Jr.? Can Dale Jr. get there and win the Winston in his rookie season after hitting the wall hard and damaging and affecting the car down the backstretch, still gaining ground? That 8 is fast on those 4 fresh tires, but Dale Jarrett could be hard to get around as Dale Earnhardt fights for 3rd behind with Jerry Nadeau. Earnhardt just going to try and get up into a contention to try and do something right here. Jarrett with the smoke. Junior in his tire tracks, coming fast, 2 laps to go. He's on the back bumper, looking low. Now he'll go up to the high side, try and get a run through 1 and 2. Jarrett's still smoking. Look at this.
He's going to the outside. He's pulling even as they head down the back straightaway.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., a 2-time winner this year, trying to grab the Winston away, but here comes Jarrett.
Earnhardt got a little better run off that corner there. Fresh tires, he takes the lead, Eli.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has the lead here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. He's a mile and a half from victory lane.
Can you believe it? The crowd, they're standing up all the way around this racetrack. He didn't just take the lead, he is driving away.
He finished 3rd in segment number 1. He finished 3rd in segment number 2. But he's kicked those Clydesdales in a high gear.
Hey, man, right on the bottom of the racetrack, he hit the wall hard enough to put any race car out of the race, but he's fought back, and look at this.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in his rookie season wins better than $500,000 and takes home the top prize in the Winston, the 16th renewal.
Well, we was sitting there, and I was running real good, and we had hit the wall and messed the car up a little bit, and we were tight, and I told Tony, so I don't think we're going to be able to beat them in 3rd place there with the 2 tires we took prior. And we sat there and thought about it, and then finally we were like, hey, we'll come and get 4 tires. We didn't come here to run 3rd. We come here to take all the money. And that's why I like Tony and them guys, man. They gutsy as hell, and that's what I like, and that's the way I am, and that's a call we made. We beat them boys. They had older tires. It's a shame, but they should have pitted too. I mean, they had opportunity just like we did.
And now here's the big man himself, Dale Sr., giving the hug to his son. What a great moment. In fact, it was a good night for all the Dales. I guess the first 3 guys that finished were named Dale. What about that kid there, Senior?
Oh, damn, I couldn't believe it. I thought I could get up there and give Jarrett some trouble. And I looked in my mirror and hear this thing come. I don't know what Tony and them guys did with this kid. And he adjusted it on the wall back there, it looked like, and got it running better.
Ain't going to be no Budweiser drunk tonight, are there?
We're going to drink a lot of Budweiser.
So then we go from the Winston back to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca-Cola 600 qualifying, and this ends up with 1 fast hot rod. This is the same car they won Texas with. I believe they probably won the Winston with it. And here it comes for the qualifying lap, and ESPN did this great thing where they had little segments of the laps to see how it compared to the pole speedsters. Look at the graphics that come up and look at the difference in the speed he has with these segments. So as he comes off turn number 2, the segment number 1 of the lap, the speed trap, faster than Nadu, the pole sitter, by about half a tenth. He goes into turn 3, down the backstretch, faster by over half a tenth. He has as he comes through 3 and 4. Can he make it off 4 and get to the pole? And by the reaction of the crowd, I believe he does. Listen to this.
Yes!
The number goes to the top of the scoreboard, and the fans react by 0.143 seconds, which is a lot by Winston Cup standards. Dale Earnhardt Jr. blows Jerry Nadeau away, 186 and change miles an hour, and Jr. goes to the top of the stack with just 2 cars left to run.
Well, here he is. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jerry Nadeau said if anybody beat that, they can have it. Where'd you get that lap, Adam?
Oh, we had it tucked in there somewhere in the Budweiser Chevrolet earlier today. I ran a couple laps in practice, and the car was awesome. This is the car we won Texas with. The car we run last weekend, we run in Atlanta. We tested both of them here, and I knew this car was a little bit better, and we kept telling people that we had a better car at home, and they didn't believe it. But everything was strong. I messed up real bad in turn 3 and 4. I just wish I'd hadn't done that. It might have been a run of 89 or 85 or something.
You actually lost some time then.
I lost a lot of time. Had to get off the throttle coming off of 4. But I'm still, I'm super duper happy for Budweiser, Remington, and Outlaw and all the sponsors. Tony and the guys real happy. And they want, they expected it because we're so fast at practice. So if I just back things up for them like that every week, they're satisfied.
Well, it's just now official, your first Winston Cup pole. How does it feel?
I guess we're going to go home and build us another Super Speedway car for the Clash next year.
Listen to the crowd as
Dale
they're
Earnhardt
pushing
Jr.,
the car
happy
down the
man,
front
his
straightaway.
first NASCAR Winston Cup Series pole.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. set a new track record with his qualifying lap tonight at 186.034 miles an hour, beating Ward Burton's previous speed record that had stood here since '94.
So then we go into the Coca-Cola 600. Early in the race, he's leading Bill Elliott and the others. He comes over there and says, guys, it's good. So his car obviously very good. And in this race, he leads 175 of the 400 laps, very dominating. But it doesn't bring home the victory. Actually ends with 4th as late in the race. He wasn't really good on the restarts at this point in his career, and he kind of fell back on a restart and struggled and fell back to, I believe, 6th, 7th, but actually came back up to finish 4th, but it just wasn't enough to get the win. So right here, he's leading just early on in the race, showing that he has a good car, staying out front. Bill Elliott actually gets by him a little bit later, but then he gets it back and dominates here. But this is still early, as we mentioned. A lot of time left. They're only, 4 or 5 laps in of a 400-lap race. So 600-mile race, you have to be there for the whole race. Can't just be there at the beginning, but still showing that he has a fast car under the daylight. Somehow it can be under the nighttime sky. We'll find out with this next clip where we go ahead, just about 70, 60 laps to go. He's still leading under the nighttime lights, nighttime sky. He's still leading and dominating. He's led over 100 laps, trying to bring it home with the victory in his first ever Coca-Cola 600. He has Matt Kenseth, Bobby Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, his father behind him, Jeremy Mayfield, some of the big names of the sport, some of them that kind of grew up with him. Matt Kenseth came in same time, retired with him. Sherhare Jr., fast, that car, a rocket ship, same one they won Texas with, so they know it's fast, just was not enough to get to victory lane. Obviously ends up 4th, as I mentioned, with 175 laps led, not enough to get to victory lane here in the Coca-Cola 600. So then we move on to Watkins Glen. You know how they say like Coca-Cola 600 kind of signifies the end of spring and the start of summer. Well, the summer months were no fun for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Just nothing happened. Mediocre runs, and then this happened, the crash. This kind of towards the end of the summer at Watkins Glen. See right there at the top of the screen, just loops the car around going into the S. He was having trouble shifting, so it kind of missed a shift there and probably spun it around. So we move on to Michigan, where they show they have a bad, fast car.
Now here's the Walmart Tire and Lube Express starting lineup. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is on the pole at over 191.
Obviously, they can't stay up there, though. They actually fall and finish, I believe, around 31st, never could get the handling right in that car. Move on to Loudon. A crash happens with 12 to go, and Jr. Up top, nowhere to go, and plows into the 25 of Jerry Nadeau, damaging that number 8 car severely and taking him out of this Loudon race. You can see right here, a little bit of stack up once again, as we mentioned, those accordion effects, just nowhere to go. The 25 gets a bump from the 6. Jeff Gordon goes around, then the 25 up the track. Dale Jr. is up top 3 wide, gets a car right there, Nadeau does, and then Jr. plows into the 25 with nowhere to go and significant damage to the number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet. Takes him out of this Loudon race. So towards like the second half of the season. Looked like it was starting out pretty well. He could get maybe a top 10 in points, a top 15 in points, but towards the second half of the season, he kind of falters and falls. So then we move on to Martinsville, and this is a no good race for him whatsoever. Early on, he cuts a tire right here going through 1 and 2. Luckily, he slams on the brakes and keeps it out of the wall, but that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the race for him. We move on to the next incident where the caution comes out the race and back, and Junior makes contact with another car, and that 8 spins around the front stretch and gets some heavy left front damage as the whole fender's gone, the tire's showing, there's parts scraping off the ground, and then he does a little burnout for the fans on the front stretch, trying to get it turned around. He overdoes it, and then he does a burnout trying to get back around. See right here, he'll turn it to the left, try and get going, spin it around before the pace car and the leader gets there. Look at the damage to that 8 hoses and stuff. You see right there, he's trying to get around. He kind of overdoes it right there, and then he'll do burnout to try and get back around, and then they take that car to the garage, try and get it repaired, and then later in the race, well, he gets involved in another crash. So 3 crashes in one race as he's up against the wall, 21 laps to go, on fire, as there's no angle of this, as he was kind of just racing at the back of the pack, but a heavy contact there. He had just about everything in this race, as you'll see from this clip, just hit about everything.
He's had a lot of bad luck here, even hitting the wrecker last year, hoping for better luck this year. Chris?
So then we move on to Talladega, the Winston 500. He's leading a single file train around with about 4 laps to go. So single digit laps left. Single file behind him, double file behind them. Junior still leading at Talladega as they come around to see about 4 laps to go this time. But they're not going to go down without a fight. Mike Skinner in the 31 fakes low, then goes up to the high side on top of Bobby Labonte. Moves up to the top side, trying to make something happen here, get up to the race lead. Junior still leading as they're double file now behind him. Is he going to be able to block the bomb? Is he going to block the top? Where's he going to go? As he stays low, the 31 has a huge run. He just stays to the bottom lane, maybe thinking they're going to have the run, but Mike Skinner with a huge push up top. See Matt Kenseth in the grass back there. They're bouncing off each other back here. This before the yellow line rule, so you can go wherever you want. You can go into the grass. So Skinner gets to the front, and then coming to the white flag, Dale Earnhardt somehow, masterfully, gets up to the front. Mike Skinner to his inside. Junior knows that if he was to push Skinner to the win, his father would not be too appreciative. So he makes a move 3 wide, gets forced to the apron, and stays there going to turn 1. He goes down to the apron, up onto the track. Luckily doesn't crash, doesn't cause a big one. He ends up 14th after leading a few laps there, being up for in contention. So that Rockingham, this is the final race we'll cover this season. And Dale Jr. gets spun out by Kurt Busch on the backstretch and hits the inside wall. Pretty hard right there. See right there. Hits the inside wall, as that will put them into the garage, and they'll fall laps down. And then in the garage, he's doing some cleaning out right here. He sees these trash cans and just plows them over. Like, we didn't need those, I guess. So then in his interview, he says a very funny quote that the announcers really like.
Got a little help from Kurt Busch, but I know he probably didn't mean to do it, so it's cool. I won't go back out there and try to kill him. But had a good run. Thanks, Dale.
What a comment. He said, I won't go back out there and kill him. Holy cow.
So then later in the race, well, he's not going to kill Kurt Busch. He's just going to worry him to death. He finds Kurt Busch back on the track as they come back out on track after fixing the car. He actually somehow ends up behind Kurt Busch, and maybe just trying to play with Kurt Busch's mind right here. This is his first season in the Cup Series, and just going to worry Kurt to death onto the back bumper, just putting a miracle for Kurt Busch. This is obviously the final race we're covering, as I mentioned. As the rest of the race, he kind of was mediocre, wasn't really up front at all, didn't really have anything happen to him, so he actually ends up the season pretty mediocre around mid-pack, and so 2000 went pretty decent at the beginning, and then towards the end they kind of fell off, but showing that DEI does have the speed to compete for wins and a championship. They're really onto the back bumper. Kurt Busch, the 97, getting sideways all over the place. Junior just trying to worry Kurt to death at this point as he races off to the turn. Look how close he gets right here as he drives it hard to the corner, right to the back bumper, but doesn't him. He's just worrying to death. So that's it for 2000. That's number 12. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys for the next one, number 11 on Dale Jr.'s career.